So let me start by saying I know that you're suffering. And I know that you're suffering in silence, and I know that you're trying to cope and trying to find mechanisms in order to deal with this suffering. So that's the very first thing. I want you to know that your suffering is valid in terms of your subjective narrative, in terms of yourself. But I have some amazing news for you. Your suffering isn't real. What do I mean by that? Well, your suffering is subjective. It's a story, it's a narrative. It's a construct of your mind, of your ego, ruminating and analyzing and generating information and stories based on the thoughts that your psyche is producing, based on the objective experiences in the world, and then the subjective narrative that you are narrating. So, that's great news, my friends, because that means that you don't have to suffer. You see, suffering is not a natural part of the human experience. Pain is a natural part of the human experience. Pain is a physicality in this world and to be expected. If you cut yourself, you bleed. It's sore, it heals. That's the end of it. The suffering would come into play there if you told yourself that that cut would never heal, it would get infected, and you would potentially perish from this earth. That could be a hypothetical story of suffering, but you see, all of your stories that cause you suffering are hypothetical. They're all constructs of your mind. They're all unnecessary. They are all not requirements of this human life. They're not requirements of this human experience. You see, life is an experience, meant to be experienced, not meant to be thought about. And suffering is a thought. So how do we let go of that? How do we get rid of that? How do we not suffer anymore? Wow, it was in the very first sentence that I just said there. We let go of it. We give up the right to the complaint that we suffer in the experience of our lives forever. And then it's gone. Once we give up the right to the rumination, once we no longer dedicate our resources to thinking about that thing for which we feel emotional reactions and the experience of suffering, then we no longer have it, and then it's gone. Awareness is the key, my friends. Bring it to light. Let it go. If you need help, link in bio.